So first off would be Farsi, the official language of Iran. So when I was in college, I think, yeah, it was my last year, I had made really good friends with a guy from Iran named Ali, and he's from a place called Mashhad, and we became really good friends, and I still consider him a very good friend of mine. But what was really special was he introduced me to the whole language, or the Iranian community in the city of Akron, which is where I went to university. And they would teach me some Farsi, and I would always like to know the funny things, So apparently, in a lot of cultures, it's about maybe your mom, but like the big insult in Iran is your sister. So I would ask to say these things about, hey, I want to meet your sister. I want to go out with your sister. To some of the Iranian guys I would know just to mess with them. And along the way, I actually, learned a little bit. And I remember thinking, wow, this is amazing. I have to be like the only American that speaks Farsi, like at least in this city. And the Iranian people are so nice, so warm. And going to this university and being introduced and getting to know all of these people, it was really cool because you could see the wide spectrum of people, right? So you could see like the shy guy, the outgoing guy, the player, the kind of weird guy, the normal guy. Like I saw so many of like the aspects of people in general within the Iranian community. And you know what? I've always had that in mind to study Farsi. And of course, Iran has a great tradition and its ancient history as well. Here, even in Mexico City, she moved back, but a really nice friend named Sara, and I always call her Sarita, so hola. She is so sweet, and she knew of my interest to learn Farsi one day, and she made me like some, like a sheet of phrases and things like that. It was so sweet. And the Iranian people are some of the nicest people I've ever encountered. So that's always been a lingering thought. It's always been like one of the clear candidates of a future language of mine. But we'll see what happens. If you would ask me right now, I would tell you that my third foreign language would be Mandarin Chinese. Because there's 3 countries that I'm really kind of interested to visit. Russia, first one, China, and Brazil. And I'm very interested in learning languages, let's say of different families, different continents. I'm not one of those guys that wants to learn like the whole Romance language family tree just because, right? So I prefer kind of different languages, quite separate ones. So out of all the Asian languages, Mandarin would clearly be the one that I would want to study. I am interested to travel through China, and I guess there's a cultural aspect that I would really like to explore as well, China's ancient history. I'm not so interested in what's happening in modern China, although that could be interesting to find out a bit, but I'm more interested in the past and what was its ancient history. I think that would be really cool. So I kind of would be leaning towards that right now just because I would like to travel to China. So other than that, I really think it would be cool to learn an African language, right? So I asked a question on Twitter the other day, and I said, if you could learn an African language, which one would you choose, right? And I got a variety of responses. It was really, really cool, actually. I was very happy to see how much interest there is in African languages. And by default, I would say Swahili, because as I understand Swahili is like a common language, sort of like a Mandarin Chinese is to China, a common language throughout Africa. And I like the idea of, the bang for your buck. But not just for like the kind of wide usage of the language. You know, I am a distance runner, and distance running and racing was a huge part of my life for a long time. And, you know, in Kenya, that is an official language, so it would almost be like a dream to go to like I-10 Kenya and run with the Kenyans and even communicate in their language and just get to have that experience as well. So, like I said, I really want to travel to Brazil. Brazilians are like the funnest people I've ever come across. They have amazing energy, and I really want to just experience all that Brazil has to offer. But the downside of that is the fact that Portuguese is so close to Spanish that for me, I'm actually not interested at all if we're talking Portuguese in terms of language. But the thing is, I want to go to Brazil. Of course, I'm not going to go there just speaking English or whatever, trying to get by with Portunhol, you know, trying to convert my Spanish into Portuguese. If I think I will study because I will go, but I think I'm going to do like a 3 to 6 months Portuguese challenge before I decide to take a trip, whenever that will be, because of course, you know, I want to really communicate with the people in their language, and even though that I'm not interested linguistically speaking in Portuguese, I know the fact of just being in the country where it's spoken, speaking with the great people of Brazil, I'm going to end up liking Portuguese, so I know it's going to be worth it. There's actually some kind of like languages that I thought would kind of be interesting to learn, because, for example, I'm a quarter Hungarian, and I actually have like a lot of French blood. It's like I think the only commonality between my parents, and you know, I'm not sure that I would learn those languages just because of that. I already have one heritage language, which would be Spanish, because my dad was a native Spanish speaker. So I don't feel the need to study a language just because I have ancestors that spoke that language. But one of the just amazing things is the unknown and what will come up. So these are just some things that I have in mind right now, but really, who knows, you know? It'll be exciting to see, but in January I will come up on 3 years of Russian, and I would like to study it for like at least 5 years before moving on to another language. So I've still got a lot on my hands with that, and I'm just having a blast. So I wanted to talk about something a little different today on the channel. What languages do you guys have planned on learning in the future, and why? I'd really love to hear it. So go ahead and subscribe and give this video a like, and we'll see you next time, and stay on your come up.